Hey guys, it's Destiny, and our newest Stellaron Hunter has been out for a few days, and you may have pulled out your wallet, you may have not, but today I wanted to discuss how Blade is skill point efficient in a sense, and how that can affect team building and overall playstyle, and also why it's important to consider this about Blade for his amazing DPS potential. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. Blade, as we know, is a wind destruction class character who sacrifices his health to do more damage with his ultimate, but the nice thing about Blade is that he's very skill point efficient. Blade only consumes one skill point every few turns due to how his kit operates. Blade's priority is to use his skill to enter Hellscape, and it will consume 30% of his HP, and he cannot use his skill again after that until Hellscape is over. This will enhance his basic attacks to do AoE damage to an enemy and adjacent targets, and also consume 10% of his health each time he uses a basic attack. Blade will use one skill point to use his skill, however the enhanced basic attacks do not gain back skill points nor lose them. So as a result, Blade will become skill point neutral from that point on. A nice thing about Blade's skill is that the initial basic attack used does not waste the turns he has for Hellscape. And by this, I mean as a result, he'll be able to skill and then basic attack for 4 times total before his skill runs out, as shown here, or rather before Hellscape runs out. This allows Blade to actually be the main DPS of your team and be paired with supports who use skill points quite often. Example can be Bronya, possibly Silverwolf depending if your skill accurately puts on the weakness you want or not, and so on. And this also allows Blade to be a very powerful sub DPS on your team as well. For a main DPS Blade, you would prioritize Blade being the main damage dealer and supports on your team to suit him. An ideal option is Bronya due to how she can increase Blade's damage, crit damage, and also advance his turn forward, so that Blade can regenerate energy quite quickly with Bronya on the team, and also dish out a lot of damage quite fast. Silverwolf, Pela, or Welt are also good supportive options for Blade, and if they are built nicely, then they can be the sub DPS of the team. Blade will also appreciate a sustain, and I highly recommend Luocha for his cleansing, Abyss Flower Field, and so on, Ailu for her invigoration and revive just in case Blade does fall in battle, and also Natasha can be a great option due to her abilities to cleanse and also heal the team. Blade has a good amount of self-sustain on his own, but a healer can assist in keeping the team alive and assist Blade especially if he does need the cleanse. If you do have another teammate on your team who can cleanse though, such as Bronya, then you can worry a bit less about your healer having cleansing capabilities, and that's where Bailu would be handy overall as well. You can also have a sub DPS on the team such as Sushang, Himiko, and so on depending on who you like to use. Due to Blade not being skill point hungry as a main DPS, this will be nice for allowing your supports, sub DPS, and even healer to freely have skill points to use. As for sub DPS Blade, Blade can be paired on majority if not all teams as one of your secondary damage dealers. Due to his skill point neutral playstyle as mentioned before, you can have a lot of additional damage onto the enemy without having to worry about Blade consuming the skill points that your main DPS on the team would possibly want. As we know, a character like Zila is quite skill point hungry, so having skill point positive or skill point neutral characters alongside a skill point hungry main DPS such as Zila can highly assist the main DPS's damage potential, since they'll be able to use their skills more often. Most team comps have ideal partners for their main DPS, however if you want extra damage, going the sub DPS route with Blade, this could be an excellent option. And due to how easy it is to build Blade in comparison to other characters, you can have an easier time making a team comp overall with Blade, and he is quite versatile as a result. Before we discuss Blade when it comes to being in battle, if you are enjoying this video so far, consider subscribing for more style content, and now let's carry on. When Blade is in battle, you'd want him to ideally have a decent amount of speed, especially if you're using Bronya. In the case of Bronya and Blade, I made this visual as to how Blade can get his ultimate and also attack a bunch in the first turn. This would require Bronya to have enough speed where she goes 2 times in a turn cycle for the first cycle, which a safe bet is 134. As for Blade, he'd want to be on 135 or above for this so he can go 2 times naturally within the first cycle, and Bronya would enable him to attack 4 times as a result, which takes advantage of his Hellscape fully within the first turn cycle, and he will also be able to get his ultimate fully within the first turn cycle as well. This would result in a total of 3 skill points being used in the first cycle, 1 from Blade to activate Hellscape, and 2 skill points from Bronya's skill to advance Blade forward. That would consume a total of all 3 of your skill points you begin within battle. However, having 2 other characters on your team who are skill points efficient as well can help with your skill points remaining neutral or positive overall. Your healer can basic attack either once or twice within the first turn cycle depending on their speed and how many times they go, which results in you being 1 to 2 points efficient, or 1 to 2 points positive rather, and then your debuffer or whichever other character can normal attack as well, depending on what character it is. This rotation with Bronya is a bit more skill point hungry, but because Blade does not consume skill points with his enhanced basic attacks, you're fine to regain them with other characters. An alternative rotation would do less damage, but you would be completely skill point neutral with Blade, which would be mixing in normal basic attacks before using his skill if you want an additional skill point. And if you do have Bronya, you could do normal attack, Bronya skill, and then enter Hellscape to add an additional skill point as well usage-wise, so that initial skill is now not making your skill point meter or your skill points available go from 3 to 2, but rather 4 to 3. If you don't have Bronya, then most rotations with Blade will be fine skill point wise regardless, but I wanted to give a rotation example with Bronya due to how many times you'd want to skill with this combination and what to consider with using them together, which is you'll likely want at least one character who can regenerate skill points just to ensure you have some if need be, and enough to enter Hellscape when needed. Overall, Blade has amazing DPS capabilities due to his skill kit and is definitely a contender for one of the best DPS characters in the game due to him being skill points efficient and being able to be an amazing sub DPS for your teammates or a very powerful main DPS, and overall his versatility is quite good. Playing him is quite smooth as well due to his survivability Blade has, even though he is reducing his own health with his kit as well. I believe Blade can actually fit on a lot of teams due to how he operates, and due to him being a destruction class character who wants to be hit, he could take advantage of being hit as well. I think it'll be even better once we get more characters who can put a taunt on Blade to increase his aggro, since he can tank hits from enemies due to his survivability and can gain charges for his powerful follow-up attacks, which also regenerate some of his health. While March 7th does exist, the only issue is Blade cannot gain stacks with the shield on him, and since he doesn't lose health from enemies attacking him from the shield, it just becomes counterproductive as a result. Overall though, I hope you guys did enjoy this mini Blade video. I just wanted to share how versatile Blade is because of his skill kit and how it operates. If you enjoyed, consider subscribing for more style content. Leave a like also to support the video, and comment down below how do you guys feel about Blade, and if you did pull Blade, how is he going for you so far. I do apologize, I do sound a bit more nasally in this video. I am a bit sick, but I did want to get out this video for you guys. Like always though, I hope you all have a nice one. Peace.